What's up, YouTube? This is Groudon Empire, and I am back for another episode of my Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon Battle Spot Single Laddering Series. If you are hyped for today's episode, make sure to show the support by demolishing, burning up that thumbs up like button down below. Let's try to break 50 likes for this episode. And remember, if you guys don't like this video, please let me know by clicking that thumbs down dislike button, because everyone's feedback is greatly appreciated. And at the end of the day, that's all I really want from you guys. Now, looking at this team, you guys can see it is it's pretty different from the other ones, and we are actually over 1900 points. You're going to see that in a moment. So I want to talk about this team real quick. It does have a a light screen, taunt, charming, a Whimsicott, and it has Turtonator. I freaking love Turtonator, alright? So this is really around Turtonator. Well, I built the team around Turtonator. In reality, Turtonator, obviously, because it's not the greatest Pokemon ever, I don't bring it as often. But yeah, without further ado, I'm just going to press the confirm button, I guess. I could have done that during during waiting for a battle, I guess. But look, we're over 1900 points. Over 1900 points. I just wanted to point out the Turtonator for you guys, because I feel like I'll end up talking mostly about the other Pokemon on the team as the battles go. And we find our first opponent, so let's take a snippet of their team real quick and get that out of here. Alright, cool. And looking at my opponent's team, they have a Gengar. And I apologize if you're going to hear a lot of squeaking sounds. My chair is making squeaking sounds. I don't know why. So Gengar, when I see Gengar, I know I cannot bring my Turtonator, because Turtonator does not outspeed it after one Shell Smash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the Whimsicott, and I'm going to bring the Eevee. My team has Eevee because Eevee is really nice in the matchups that have Gengar. My opponent does have a Tapu Fini, however, and I might just end up losing because of that. But you know what? I can't do anything about it. I'm just going to have to bring these three. That's how the game goes. So I do have a set of notes that I use based on... One second. Just try to... Alright, cool. I do have a set of notes that I have with this team, what's bad and what's good versus it. Basically, my default 3 Pokemon that I bring are Whimsicott, and then I bring Turtonator in the middle, and then at the end, I bring the Clefable. And then so then after that, I have all these notes that I've made for what I change up based on the matchup. So sometimes that's when I change things up and bring, Gyarados instead of Turtonator, or I bring Eevee and Espeon, or I bring Eevee and Gyarados as the recipient instead of Espeon, or I bring Eevee and Clefable, or Gyarados, Turtonator, Clefable. So, but the main team that my mindset is around is built around Whimsicott, Turtonator, and Clefable, as my opponent brings the Tapu Koko. Alright, so they have the Tapu Koko. I do have my Pokemon, whatever it is. I'll start off with the light screen, and then the next turn, because I don't know, actually I could have just went for the Moonblast, but it's fine. I should have went for the Moonblast. No, actually it's good I went for the light screen, because my opponent went for the taunt, so that would have been really bad for me. I am going for the Moonblast because I don't know what my opponent's going to do. I don't know what they're going to do, so that's something to keep in mind. So this is turn 2 of my light screen, so keep that in mind. It's very important. And I'm just going to keep attacking because I have nothing else that I can do versus the Gengar. Yeah, so as I did tell you guys at the beginning of the video, Turtonator is the star of this team. Doesn't mean that I really bring it often. I do whatever I have to do for the matchup to win, but when I made this team, Turtonator was the main thing I had in mind, because I freaking love Turtonator. And right now, I am very afraid that this thing might have the Perish song. If it's a Perish song, Gengar, I lose. In that case, I should have brought the Gyarados, but I mean, there's only so much you can do. I am going to go for the Z move. If my opponent is the Perish song, and I do end up fainting to that, so it's a good game. He does have the Perish song. You know, I can't do anything about that. I lose this game because Perish Song, it goes through the Baton Pass. So I'll still end up losing the game because Baton Pass, it's gonna carry the Perish Song. And that's actually something I do as well. When I use Gengar, I actually have Perish Song on my Gengars, and versus opposing Eevee, I use that versus them. Now, I am just going to skip through the rest of this battle because I will end up losing, and I'm telling you right now, he used Perish Song. If I Baton Pass, I go to Espeon, it's going to lose. And if I don't, right, if I don't Baton Pass, maybe I can KO him, maybe, you know, but my Espeon can't do anything because it doesn't have Calm Mind, so I can't set up and just win. So I at least want to take down the Gengar. I'm gonna forfeit the game, but I want to take the Gengar out or something. I want to take something out. I don't know if I can take anything out. Probably have to take the Gengar out or something. I don't know. I would like it if my opponent can at least stay in and do the courtesy of letting Eevee take something out before it just faints. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna forfeit the game. Whatever. Just leave it. I'm gonna leave it. Actually, no, I'm gonna forfeit it if the Tapu Koko doesn't die. I know Tapu Koko's not gonna die. I know Gengar only dies, but it's fine. Usually, when there's a Tapu Koko and a Gengar, it's a bad matchup for my entire team. Tapu Koko didn't even die. I'm just gonna forfeit because again, I told you guys, the strategy just gets destroyed with the Eevee. So Gengar again is a bad matchup for this team. For this team, Gengar is a bad matchup. I can try to beat Gengars by using the Eevee, but again, if I cannot taunt the Gengar before coming in, then I'm in trouble. And you just saw it right there. My opponent played it really well. They have a taunt Tapu Koko, and then they went in. They played it really well. So, you know, unfortunately, you lose the first game. That's okay, though. That's okay because, you know, being over 1900 points, you don't stay there forever. Really few people stay above there forever. And I would love to be one of those people, but right now I'm certainly not one of those people. Now we are now down below 1890. That's fine. You know, again, this stuff ain't easy. So, you know, hopefully we can come through in the next game and the game after that. Man. All right. Okay, so we see the next team that my opponent has. I'm going to get a snippet of their team real fast. They have the Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini is a serious problem because I have nothing but setup sweepers on my team, and it completely counters. With Haze, it counters all of them, and it just counters Gyarados by existing, so it's really troublesome. But again, can't really do anything about it if bad matchups are coming. So my opponent doesn't have anything for Turtonator Clefable. My opponent does have the Marowak for the... It's fine. So this matchup, I will bring the Turtonator and I will bring the Clefable. And hopefully, you know, hopefully things go through. They should. They should. They really should. I'm really hoping that things go through. So Turtonator does get a chance to come, and I don't remember how many points my opponent has. I wasn't paying attention. They probably have like 1865 or something. I think we can win this game. I think. Does start off with a Scizor. That's cool. What I will start off with is a Charm. Start off with a Charm. He's probably going to U-turn. If he Swords Dances, that's fine. I'm just going to go for the Light Screen the second turn. My bad. Sorry. 1765. We cannot lose this. We cannot lose this. But it's okay. I feel like we can win this game. Tapu Fini really... I'm really afraid of the Tapu Fini. But I feel like we got this. Goes for the bullet punch, you know, that's cool. That's cool. You're going to see it doesn't do too much damage. And for anyone wondering why I don't have Memento on my Whimsicott, first of all, right now, it's not legal, right? Secondly, it's not legal because there's a glitch with Z Memento, so because of that, it's the move Memento is banned, even though, you know, Memento is really not like a broken move or anything. Not that Nintendo really cares about those things anyway. It's just if it causes disconnections, it's a problem, right? But the other main reason, like aside from that, that's obviously a main reason. I mean, I'm not even able to bring it because of that. But the other reason, and this is even if it was not like banned due to a glitch or whatever, is because right now pre-Pokemon Bank, Whimsicott does not learn any of that. What I want to do right now is I'm going to go for the taunt because I don't want no Calm Mind taunting Tapu Kokos to stop me from doing anything beautiful. Really don't. We do see my opponent's team though, and I'm liking it. I'm liking the looks of it because see a Scizor. And you know what Pokemon on my team loves Scizor? Both of my Pokemon in the back, they absolutely love Scizor. So that's really cool. If my opponent goes out into the Marowak or anything, honestly, I can just charm it. Tapu Fini, I can taunt it, so that's cool. My opponent does go out into the Scizor. They don't have the Salamence because they have the Mega Scizor. That's something to keep in mind of. This turn, I can just go out into the I can just use Moonblast, get damage off on Scizor. It's gonna go for the Bullet Punch. I am perfectly fine with that. It can KO me for all I care. I really do not care. And next turn, again, I can go out. I can use the Moonblast again. I do have the priority. It goes for the Bullet Punch. That's fine. I could have went for the Charm, actually, so he doesn't thief and kill me, but that's fine because once I get a Shell Smash up with the Turtonator, we're gonna have an absolute assassin in here. We got the Turtonator. We got AKUMA from Street Fighter up in Pokemon. We're going to go for the Shell Smash. And we are just going to set up. And we are going to destroy my opponent. Got the AKUMA pose with his back. It's as if it is as if my opponent already used the Raging Demon. Already got the knockout on my opponent. So awesome. Turtonator is such a cool Pokemon. He's going to switch out into something. Tapu Fini. If Tapu Fini has Haze, we lose. We lose. If Tapu Fini has Haze, there's only so much we can do, guys. We can't. And if I end up losing this game, man, I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be a sad person. But hey, there's only so much we can do. This is Pokemon. You know, there's so many matchups. Like this team, I'm telling you, I've tested this team. This team is so incredibly awesome. But Tapu Fini, you know, with Haze, can't do anything about it. What other Pokemon? Yeah, Tapu Fini, just Tapu Fini is just incredible. Like, even if it's not Haze, it's insane how good it is because of Nature's Madness. So it can just break through Clefable just because of Nature's Madness and Taunt and stuff. It's really insane how good this Pokemon is. I wonder what kind of damage. Interesting. I'm gonna go for another Flamethrower. They're leftovers. We have a serious chance of winning this game, guys. We actually have a serious chance of winning this game. He goes for the Calm Mind. That is not good. That is absolutely terrible. That is so bad. No, we're okay. Wait, are we? Yeah, we're okay. We're okay. We are A-okay. I can just keep going for the Flamethrower. We're fine. We are fine. We are absolutely fine. And then we can go for the Overheat next turn. We can go for the Overheat next turn and we should be fine. We can go for the Overheat next turn. We will be absolutely fine. We might actually come out on top. We might actually come out on top. I'm going to go for the Draco. No, Overheat. Not Flamethrower. Not Draco. Overheat. And we land the Overheat. This is absolutely awesome. Turtonator just 1v1'd. Obviously, I have screens. But Turtonator just annihilated a Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini, which is one of the scariest Pokemon for this team to face. Turtonator just absolutely annihilated it. This Pokemon is absolutely amazing. I love this Pokemon. Now, this is the real problem right here. Tapu Koko is a serious problem. All right. And I'm just gonna have to go for an overheat because, I mean, I'm gonna go second. I don't outspeed. Yeah, I don't outspeed this. He's gonna KO me because I'm not the bulkiest thing on the special side. That's fine. Now I want to bring in the Clefable. All right, I want to bring in the Clefable right now, and I need to see what's gonna happen. I need to see what's gonna happen. All right, I need to seriously. I need to see what's gonna happen right now. So. He used Dazzling Gleam. He's not Life Orb. Maybe he's Choice Specs. Maybe he's Sash and he has Taunt. I don't know. I can go for Minimize right now, and that would be my best option. But I'm afraid. I'm afraid if he has the Thunderbolt. But I have to go for Minimize if he does Thunderbolt me. Or wait. Okay, how many turns of terrain does he have? How many turns of terrain? Okay, he has way too many turns of terrain. Do I go for Calm Mind or do I go for Minimize? That's the real question, guys. Go for Minimize. He might Volt Switch out of here. Yep. Okay, he Volt Switch out of here. Don't do over 50% and I'm good. Okay, alright, awesome. Unless his Scizor gets a critical hit versus the Clefable, we can 1v1 with Minimize and Moonlight, or unless my opponent has Toxic, we lose. You know, so critical hit Bullet Punch can annihilate us. Toxic can annihilate us. Go for the Moonlight right now. If he has Gigavolt Havoc on his, and my opponent misses the Bullet Punch, that is awesome. I'm gonna go for the. Should I go for Calm Minds right now? Okay, this is what's going to happen. He's going to go for the Bullet Punch. He's going to do 50% unless he gets a crit. I'm going to get my Keyberry activation, so he can't 2-hit KO me unless he gets 2 crits back to back. So yeah, I'm going to go for the Calm Mind because his Gigavolt Havoc, he probably has Gigavolt Havoc on his Tapu Koko, and he misses the Bullet Punch again. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I need to go for the Calm Minds because I'm afraid of the Tapu Koko. He's going to have Gigavolt Havoc. For those of you guys that don't know, all right, Gigavolt Havoc, Z attacking moves, they all do not check accuracy. And right now, hopefully my opponent does not get a critical hit. We'll be fine. Does not even do 50%. And we can recover, not recover, well, we can recover next turn. Unless my opponent gets a crit, again, you know, problems. But Tapu Koko can ignore all of my Minimize boosts because of Z moves. Z moves do not care about any kind of evasion. They do not check for evasion. And they even go through Protect, but they only do like a quarter of the damage. Now this turn I'm going to Moonlight. And again, this is really important stuff I just told you. If you are afraid of the... tactics that have evasion, use a Z attacking move on your team, and evasion does not stand a chance versus you. Now this next turn, I am going to go for the second Minimize. I can go for another Moonlight. I'll go for another Moonlight just so I don't get crit versus. No one likes to get crit and die. So I can go for a Moonlight, get maximum HP, then I can go for Minimize again. And again, my opponent most likely has the Gigavolt Havoc. If they don't, that's fine. It's better for us. That is absolutely better for us. I'm just going to keep going for Minimize. I'm going to go for Calm Minds. I need to get +5. I need to get +5 special attack in order to defeat the Scizor 1v1. Alright? So at 2 Minimize, I like my chances of avoiding Bullet Punch. But I don't know. Should I go for another one? Should I go for Calm Minds? Something's telling me I should go for another Minimize. I mean, either way, it's fine. But again, I want my opponent to have the least amount of chances to actually hit me with the Bullet Punch. Alright? Because if my opponent can touch me with the Bullet Punch, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. And now I'm at maximum accuracy. Hopefully my opponent does not connect with the Bullet Punches. My opponent is connecting with the Bullet Punches. If it's a critical hit, I die. And that was a critical hit, so I end up losing. That is awesome. That is what I get for relying on a strategy like this. So that sucks. You know, that sucks. When I broke 1900, I did not use Any minimizers, I did not use any of the Pokemon that you see on my team right now. But it is what happens. I actually used a defensive, I used a stall team. Making videos with stall teams is not friendly. It takes way too long, so that's why I don't make videos for stall teams. I am going to look for another battle though. Try to do 3 battles if it's less than 30 minutes. So right now I am being exposed like the fraud that apparently I seem like right now. But you know what? You know what? We'll come back. We'll come back with this. We'll come back with this. Man. Well, at least Turtonator, you guys saw Turtonator take down the Tapu Fini. So this episode in and of itself is worth. You guys get to see what other opponents have over 1800 or, you know, above 1750, right? You get to see what they have, and you get to see Turtonator putting in work. It took down the Tapu Fini. Hey, if you get to see that, if I get to see that, honestly, I'd be hyped enough. But yeah, you know. But let me tell you, for real, Clefable, if it doesn't get crit, it beats that team. So I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that because, you know, we have to play the odds in Pokemon, and my odds were highly in my favor. But, you know, things just don't happen all the time. All right, so I'm going to get a snippet of their team, and I'm going to look for another battle. Yeah, again, yeah, I can use Whimsicott, Turtonator, whatever you want to call it, man. Some people are like, whatever. Clefable, I win. Well, I have a very, very high chance of winning is what I'm trying to say. I think the same issue comes again with Clefable. Crits, right? You're using Minimize. When you use Minimize, they can't touch you, right? Especially at max Minimize, so 100% accuracy moves only have a 30% chance of landing. That's honestly really good odds. Couple that with, excuse me, Clefable's amazing bulk. Those are extremely good odds. So really, the only thing that would kill is like if my opponent ends up breaking the odds, you know, by landing through Minimize and getting a crit. So really, the odds are in my favor. So that's the thing, you know, Pokemon can turn into a game of odds. Actually, no, Pokemon is a game of odds. Whether you have a highly offensive team that has bad matchups and you play versus your bad matchups and you just, you know, can't do anything versus them, or you end up using a strategy that, you know, it gives your opponent a lot of chances to potentially get that low chance thing happening. All of that, you know, Pokemon, game of odds. You have to play the odds, and this team does really well. It does really well. Obviously, the first 2 games would lead you to think otherwise. But, you know, Perish Trap typically has Shadow Ball, not Sludge Bomb, on the Gengar. So that right there is already, you know, unfortunate that ended up happening. A Gengar, Perish Trap Gengar that has, you know, Sludge Bomb. That's Sludge Wave or whatever. Not having the Shadow Ball, also being able to play me like that was just amazing on my opponent's part. You know, you have to tip off your hat to players that are amazing. You know, there was that. But the second game, again, the odds were super in my favor. So I can't. There's no way. I should not. There's nothing. It's not like there's a serious problem on my team, like, because usually versus the Scizors, this is probably the first loss I've ever had versus a Scizor. So, and I've played a ton. I played a ton of games with this team on Pokemon Showdown, for example, and it has done amazingly. So again, game of odds, things happen. You know, if people have one-hit KO moves, then things happen. What are you gonna do, right? My opponent opts to attack. Do they have Thunder Wave? That is a Steel type Z move. That's still not gonna kill me. But he can switch out. That's what I'm afraid of. You know, honestly, I could have just went for the... That's a really cool looking move. That is a really cool looking move. That is a really cool looking move. I'm gonna go for the Flamethrower. Turtonator is not joking around here. And my opponent opts to stay in. I wonder if they're saving something in the back or something along those lines. But right now, Turtonator... Look, Turtonator did look, I have never faced a Tapu Fini and won a game, I don't think. So Turtonator already did the unthinkable last game, alright? By breaking through Tapu Fini. And I have to go for Flamethrower right now because of the disguise. Mimikyu, such a monster. And that's another thing. Clefable does not care about other Pokemon setting up. Clefable, again, absolutely amazing. That one game, you know, the Scizor, it's like the millionth Scizor I've faced, and it actually got something going for it. But typically, that's not what happens. Turtonator has a lot of bulk, okay? Now, what I'm going to do this turn, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this. Honestly, I probably can. Flamethrower or Overheat? I'm going to go for the Overheat. I want to kill something with this. 10% chance of missing. Never mind. We landed. They have a Focus Sash. That is cool. I get to find out their item. They can go for a Swords Dance if they wanna. They can go for a Shadow Claw. That works too for them if they want to really do that. But Turtonator is proven again this game. It can really put in massive, massive amounts of work. If my opponent has Curse, no, they die. If my opponent has Toxic, I probably lose the game. So I would be completely afraid in that instance. But I can use Minimize, and I stand a really good chance of just winning. Depending on what my opponent has. So, yeah, I get the +1 defense, and then I can just Roost up next turn. Not Roost, Moonlight. I'm so used to using Roost. I don't even... Saying Roost. Not using Roost. Well, I used to... Yeah, I probably use Soft Boil the most, because I used, like, Stall earlier. So I was actually using a Blissey. So I'm used to using Soft Boil. But Roost up, honestly, it just sounds so much easier to say. Like, Roost versus Soft Boiled, which is like 2 syllables and stuff, or like 2 words, kind of. I don't know. It's 1 word, but you know what I mean. Oh, I hope you know what I mean. Roost up is so much easier to say. I don't know what my opponent has. If they have a special Lucario, I might be in trouble. I'll go for the Calm Mind, just because I don't know if they have a special Lucario or something else. Like, if they have a special Lucario, I might be in a lot of trouble. I already have the defense boost, so I don't have to worry about Minimize too much, because I can take on any of my opponent's Pokemon at this point. But I am afraid of the Calm Mind situation. If my opponent has the Lucario, my opponent can get the crit Shadow Claw right now. It really doesn't matter. You guys see, Clefable is an absolute monster. Again, you really have to just, you know, break through the... land a 30% accuracy move and get a crit at the same time to really break through its Scizor. It's really not in my opponent's favor. I can go for the third Calm Mind. For those of you guys wondering why, if my opponent does have the Flash Cannon Mega Lucario, I'm going to survive at this range, I think. Pretty sure I do survive at this range at +3, and then I can KO it. So, pretty good situation for us. Then I can go... I'm going to go for the Moonlight. No, I'm going to go for the Minimize. I'm going to go for the Minimize. If he switches out, if he stays in, doesn't matter. I'm going to go for the other Minimize, next Minimize. And I'm going to Moonlight up. I'm going to Moonlight up because at this point, it doesn't matter if I get more Minimize or not. I just did the second Minimize because I would like to heal up versus the Mimikyu rather than constantly get hit. So hopefully it misses this turn. It does, that's great. And if it didn't, again, even if it got a crit, double crits in a row, it would not kill the Clefable at that range. I'm going to go for the Minimize again because I have no reason not to, and I'm just increasing my chances of surviving. And it's not necessary at all, but you know what? I'm going for the odds. I want my odds to be maximum. You know, I don't want to minimize my odds. It's funny because I just use Minimize to maximize my odds. I don't want to, like, have the least amount of chance for something to happen, and then I end up losing because of that. Because anything can happen in Pokemon. You might have all the odds in your favor, you might still end up losing, so you got to keep that in mind. And I have 0 risk of going for full stats right now versus Mimikyu. That's why I'm just going to go for it, because if my opponent has a Porygon 2 last, then it's a problem. So I'm just going to keep going for Calm Minds right now. Because again, if my opponent does have the Porygon 2, my opponent does forfeit, so that happens. That happens. I haven't actually used this on Cart, but so I haven't seen too many forfeits because this is my 3rd game using this team on Cart. But yeah, so that happened. Turtonator put in so much work. I absolutely love Turtonator. I hope you were hyped. Obviously, I only won once, and I lost 2 games. But you know, that second game, the odds were highly in our favor, so I'm a-okay with that. Turtonator broke through Tapu Fini. That was amazing, so I am perfectly fine with this series of battles. That first one, I already knew Perish Gengar was going to destroy us, so if it happened first game, that's unfortunate, but you know what? That's what happens. Perish Gengar, you're such an annoying little Pokemon, but that's fine, because we're going to come out on top in future episodes. We're going to try to break 1900 again and just rank up even higher. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please remember to click that like button down below and in the comment section to let me know what you thought about this strategy and these battles. And if you dislike this strategy with the minimized Clefable, let me know by hitting that dislike button and leaving a comment or a few down below, letting me know why you hate it so darn much. This was Groudon Empire. Peace out.